Welcome to the best hour of their day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez
and me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
as both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day.
We are back. We are live.
Nope, still not live.
Kind of live. I mean, we're breathing.
Oh, that's alive.
We are
very different.
Alive. We are alive and well after our trip to Nashville. This episode's coming out on Wednesday, April 27th. Is that correct, Katie?
Yes, that is accurate.
So we are back from Nashville. We all survived. Katie peaced out a little bit early. She couldn't hang with the boys. I'm so excited for the content we got in Nashville. Let's give a little chat about it because no one's really heard other than seeing it on our Instagram, seeing it on my Instagram. But we show up in Nashville. We had a fantastic time with our client, Colton Henson, at his box, CrossFit Engaged. Sweet location, amazing class, fantastic barbecue after. That was a great day.
Yeah, I mean, 10 podcasts and 5 dropping ins, I believe is what we closed the week out with. I believe that is correct. So it was a lot. I mean, that averaged out to 3 a day.
What I was doing was going through them all. And I was going to talk about, that was where you were supposed to be like, yeah, it was great meeting Colton, but you want to skip this part, Fern? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, well, that just for the record, that has nothing to do with the topic for the call today. And we were just not going to get to that if you were going to run through everything.
No, we're going to get to it. I like to see the format of this show is this. We get on.
For the record, just so everybody is aware of this, there is no format to the show.
Internal.
Yeah.
I keep this internal dialogue going. So the format is I do a lot of funny stuff in the beginning. Like I'm hysterical. People call me literally, they text me, they say things like, remember what Louis said earlier today? What did he say? Jay, I believe I'm quoting, I might get it a little wrong. He said something along the lines, "You're the funniest person I've ever heard."
That's definitely not what he said.
It was close.
You were funny.
I think you're misquoting Louis.
Yeah, that's definitely misquoting. That is that's what we call fake news.
So anyway, let me give a quick rundown.
Your fake news.
Let's talk about some highlights.
We talk about some highlights. I don't want to give them all the goods, dude. We want them to watch. It was good. It was a good.
Yeah, but here's the deal. You want to watch? You got to go to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of youtube.com/best hour of their day. Katie will drop the link as always, but I will tell you this much.
Smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Be notified when the next episode comes out. Because I'm telling you, on this trip, different than the past, we did a lot of additional content that people are going to want to watch that's not available via podcast. The interviews will be available. We've got 5 dropping in episodes, and we got a ton of extra content with some amazing people, such as, I don't know, Adrian Bosman, the competition director of the CrossFit Games. Did he or did he not circumcise one of us? Wait to find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah.
For me, it would be my second circumcision for reference.
I don't even know if that's possible, but yeah.
There's not much left if that's what you're implying. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And then what about Hinshaw? Can we give a spoiler alert?
We did that was a 2-hour podcast.
2-hour podcast. However, Katie, what was the highlight? Spill it. Come on, Katie.
Well, you got a little bit butthurt because I was a far better athlete than you. And that it's not even like my own personal opinion. It was the opinion of Chris Hinshaw that I'm better than you.
You have gotten so arrogant since that moment. It's like you're a different person. I don't even recognize you anymore. You're arrogant and cocky. And
are you firing me right now?
Inappropriate. I want to go as far as saying you're inappropriate. And you will see.
Listen, nobody's going to buy that. Nobody's going to buy that Katie's inappropriate. I will give everybody. So we did Hot Ones episode, and what we found out. Actually, I don't want to tell you guys, but like, look, put this
don't
in the
spoil
comments. In the comments, we want you guys to put just what do you think the worst thing Katie has ever done in her life is? What do you think the worst thing that Katie has ever done in her life is? And I guarantee you're wrong. Whatever you put in the comments, wrong. Actually, you know what this? Wrong answers only. in the comments, what do you think the worst thing Katie's ever done? Wrong answers only.
Oh, this could get bad.
YouTube comments. YouTube comments for this episode. We'll do this. If you're watching this YouTube episode, you'll notice Fern has on a sweet best hour of their day shirt. Do the work. Best answer to that question that Fern just asked, we'll get that t-shirt. The actual one Fern is wearing.
Wrong answers only.
Now we'll send you a fresh, clean one. A Do the Work shirt. You'll notice I'm wearing Barbell Voodoo today because we stopped by Barbell Voodoo in Nashville. Point is, we had a blast. We are so excited. We got our big announcement episode coming soon. And with that new content, you are going to love it. Make sure you head over to our YouTube channel. We're going to be transitioning in the future to one fantastic podcast episode per week coming out Mondays, 8 a.m. Eastern. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. And then there's going to be a whole lot of additional content surrounding every episode. And Hot Ones was a blast. Katie, just give your real quick. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
You got angry.
It didn't look like you were having
How
fun.
angry was she? 1 to 10, Fern.
Well, Katie yelled at us. Legitimately yelled at us. She like yelled at us like, "Oh, that's Katie's mad." Like,
I've never seen her so mad.
Katie's legitimately
because I was in pain. My face hurt.
Then you got home.
Katie was in so much pain. I was crying with laughter.
We were laughing so hard. It was a great time. But then Katie got home, ran a half marathon the other day with your with hubby, with Tyler.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he ended up not being able to run it, but I ran it. Yeah.
But I misunderstood. Did he walk it?
No, he was the supporter.
He just didn't do it at all.
Yeah, but he supported.
Direct support.
Wait.
Yeah.
So why were you so slow then?
Did you miss the part? It wasn't a flat surface at all. It was up and down through the mountains of Georgia. Let's do it together next year. Let's all do it as a team.
Yeah. See this? See what I'm talking about, Fern? Was she like this prior to this week? No. Ever since Hinshaw called her extraordinary, she's a different human being.
The other thing I was trying to figure out, like, I can't figure out if Katie very well might be extraordinary, but I can't figure out if she was extraordinary or you were so not extraordinary that it made Katie look.
It elevated me.
Yeah. Well, Katie looked like LeBron James next to Jay.
Let's also be very clear. In that same episode, you and I had a little friendly competition. We won't say who won, but I'm
not even sure that competition worked because I'm pretty sure we have to. I want video.
I wasn't sure, to be quite honest. I wasn't sure what it was either.
I'm getting on there crushing. He's like, "Well, he wins," and I'm like, "I don't feel like you're counting over here. I think you're just looking at Jay and saying that he wins."
Yeah, I don't even know what the competition was.
Right. Yeah.
But I won.
Yeah.
But anyway,
sure.
Super excited about that. Today's episode, we're going to continue part 2. So on a recent episode, we really dove into lesson planning. And what I would tell you is I was so happy, proud, and excited of how many people tagged us in their lesson plans.
It was a lot.
A lot of people were doing that. Katie, did you ask them to do that?
Mm-hmm.
We did. Yep.
We did.
I didn't pay attention. So
we know.
We will do that again for this episode. Previous episode, we focused a lot on the whiteboard brief, the warm up. Now let's talk a little bit about what happens after that. Because I think after our time with Hinshaw, and we're going to share this with our fans. Do we have fans? Or I feel like it's more of a community. I mean, let me be clear. I have a lot of fans. I think for you two, it's like you're part of the fan club, if you will.
I'm definitely not part of your fan club.
Of your fan club?
Okay, Katie, can we mute her? So no, Hinshaw gave us a lot of expertise, a lot of lessons that I think we can talk about implementing into the cool down portion, because that is what we discussed. You guys that are doing the lesson plans, great job. You're certainly leaving time for the cool down. So let's work backwards, Fern. But however, what's actually happening in that cool down is rarely accounted for. It's kind of like, oh, clean up. Maybe let's talk about, hey, Murph's coming next month. But there's not a whole lot of education. There's not a whole lot of tangible things happening in that cool down.
Yes, I would agree. And even we're guilty of it, which is even if you do have enough time, then the rub becomes how valuable is this time to the end user. And that can be a real challenge. I think a lot of people are getting better at the warm-ups, the specific warm-ups, the general warm-ups. But one of the things that, on the podcast with Chris that we talked about was really treating the cool down with the exact same emphasis and structure that you would do for the rest of the class, and make it be very intentional, because there can be a lot gained there in the realm of continuing to further their work capacity post workout. And a lot of the drills that we covered, in that podcast, and then the content that we did after the podcast, candidly, I was like, we could do a better job with that. Like, I know we can. And sometimes it's just a reminder, like Cassidy's taken it. I've seen Chris speak many times. We just need to do it,
Yeah. And we don't want to give too much away because we want you to watch the episode. And more importantly, Hinshaw's back on the road. He's an SME, right? CrossFit announced the Olympic seminar, gymnastics, and Hinshaw's aerobic capacity are back to be, subject matter expert courses. So first of all, go take it. I've taken it. I've seen him talk numerous times. I love the gymnastics course, and I also love the Olympic lifting course. However, I think aerobic capacity, immediately you can implement that into a regular standard 60-minute CrossFit class.
Right. I think the other two are far more difficult. But pop quiz, Katie, why do you think they chose those 3 courses to add in SMEs?
We did get asked by Brendan. Maybe we'll do this at the end again. He wants a level 3 question at the end. We'll ask that, but let's hear Katie's answer to this. Not so arrogant anymore, Katie. I don't know. For the record, I don't have any idea. And I was there. Was I there for the podcast with Hinshaw?
There is a loose term.
I was spaced out.
You were physically present.
I was hungry.
You're drinking.
I was hungry. Yeah, I was drinking a smoothie. That was a great smoothie. CrossFit Mayhem, full coffee spot, Buffalo Brew, smoothies. That was awesome.
Are you giving Katie? You're giving Katie time to Google things right now.
I'm trying to help her out.
I'm not Googling.
Katie is
I really don't know.
Googling.
Well, Fern, let me
I'll let you think about it.
So was the question why those 3 seminars specifically were chosen to be SME courses? Well, one,
for the record, I don't have the answer to this, but I have a pretty good idea of why, I think.
It's same again.
So the gymnastics course, the Olympic lifting course, and aerobic capacity.
Those are the 3.
Oh, I got you. I know where we're going with this.
Hold on.
I think I've got the answer that Fern's looking for.
Finish.
She's not going to get it.
It's monostructural weightlifting and gymnastics, right?
The three modalities.
However,
I knew that.
The 3 modalities within CrossFit.
I see where you're going with that, Fern. One thing I did learn from our time with Hinshaw is I think the misunderstanding about what he does is that it is exclusively about monostructural, like the old CrossFit endurance courses used to be. And it's really not. I mean, he smashed us and we didn't do any monostructural work.
Yeah. There's a tremendous amount of bleed over. So let's go 10 general physical skills. So, cardiorespiratory endurance. And then the other one that there's tremendous amount of bleed over is stamina. And the difference between those two, in case anybody's wondering. So when we talk about cardiorespiratory endurance, we're talking about oxygen exchange. When we're talking about stamina, we're talking about muscular stamina, right? So the ability to, produce and reuse ATP specifically. So those are different, but he teaches a tremendous amount about both of those. There is a tremendous amount of overlap between the two of them, but they are different. But a lot of the value that he has is not just better lungs. He refers to it as recovery. It was a fascinating conversation. I mean, we went deep down the rabbit hole into many things, covered a lot of stuff, but it's definitely not just about, your cardiorespiratory or your aerobic, well, if you think about that term in general, I think a lot of, there's just an improper assumption that when they say aerobic capacity, they're just talking about cardio specifically.
Yeah. So let's ask the first of the level 3 questions right now. And by the way, this is where we would input some music and maybe a little scorecard in the future. Our episodes are going to be more finely produced in the future.
What would said music and scorecard be for?
Katie's going to answer the 10 general physical skills.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Question number 1, young Katie.
I can hear her fingers
frantic. Google, search.
I'm not going to Google.
Put your hands up like
I'm
this,
not going to Google. I'm not going to.
You can even use your fingers for this if you want to.
Listeners, right now, pause it. Name them out loud to yourself. Write them down. Maybe come back. Let's find out Katie's answers. You ready, Katie?
No.
You got this. You got this, girl. I believe in you on this one.
You're going to fire me after this. Okay.
Potentially. That's insignificant. That's regardless if you get this right or wrong, you may be
fired. I'm fired. Well, you just said cardiorespiratory.
Yep.
What?
Endurance. Did you say endurance? Stamina.
2.
Strength.
3.
Flexibility.
Okay. So she's named all of the
organic.
Okay. I was going to let her answer. Cool. You've named the 4 organic.
Saying it. All right.
Okay. Coordination.
Yep.
Balance.
Cool. We're on neurological. Yep.
Agility is 7.
Yep. Well, that's 8. No, you're right. 7.
No, I had 7.
Let me do the counting, Jay.
There's one more neurological.
I don't know. I'm forgetting.
No, don't give up, Katie.
I'm not giving up. I'm trying to remember which ones.
Are you giving up? Do you want to give up?
No.
Okay.
I only have 3 more.
Do you want to phone a friend?
No.
Good, because you can't.
Thank you.
We don't have that technology yet.
Did I say speed?
You haven't said speed, but that's in the middle. Okay, so you got 2 left. You got 2 left. You got 1 neurological and one that's equal parts both, right?
Okay.
Come on, Katie. This is right now. You have so many people listening, wanting to see you succeed.
Katie.
They're cheering for you.
Okay, wait. Stop.
This is your moment. This is it.
Come
on, Katie. There's a lot of pressure.
Really?
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. This is dead air. This is what they refer to as dead air in the industry.
No, it's quiet. I can't remember the last 2, but I know I'm gonna.
Okay. Let's play.
If you know the last 2, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We'll see if you guys get it right.
Okay.
Are we not giving them the answers? I think that's fair. Like, let them do some work too. Yeah. These listeners, they're so lazy.
I feel like I know them. I know you definitely don't know them, but
I'm asking. Yeah, I know them, but I want to make sure they know them. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. What will help Katie is
she's Googling it now. She is Googling it right now.
It does help tremendously to memorize them in order.
Yeah, that's how I got them. So we go cardio. You got the top 4. The bottom 4 is where I think you went astray because I always remember them as. This is my way of remembering them: balance, accuracy, agility, coordination. I think you forgot accuracy.
You forgot accuracy and power.
Yep, I did.
No, speed. She said power, right?
No, I said speed, not power.
Okay, right. And then the 2 in the middle are power, speed.
Yep.
Okay, so you got an 80%. Hey, you're a solid B student, Katie.
B minus.
B minus. Would Lou be proud of that? Would Lou be happy with that? No.
Unacceptable.
Okay. Yep. No ice cream for you, Katie.
Yeah.
All right. So
continues to be disappointed, Lou.
Yeah. So here's what I'm saying, Fern. I after spending that time with Hinshaw, I would actually start to adjust my lesson planning, and I would probably try to wrap up by 12 left in the class, because what we discussed a little bit, and again, you'll get a lot of this when the episode comes out, is letting your athletes take that 90 seconds to 2 minutes to kind of recover, getting them to move gently for another 2 minutes, and then potentially that 5-minute exercise, which can be many, many things. We'll let you watch that to find out. But I think, do you think 12 minutes would be enough for that? And how often would you incorporate that?
I think it'd be hard. I don't think a lot of people would hit that. So in given context of what most people have to do on a daily basis inside the 60 minutes, 12 is definitely not happening. But let's just say that you are a gym. Let's just say that you're just a gym who's doing one thing a day. If you're doing 2 things a day, 12 is definitely not happening. If you're doing one thing a day, I would say 10 is probably a little bit more realistic. So my goal is always 10. Anything less than 7, I would consider to be a failure. And you could definitely get a cool down and that 5 minutes in there in 10. And you also don't have to do it every day. But my kind of soft goal would be more often than not would be able to loop that in. So that's how I would gauge success.
Yeah. Again, many people listening are, if you're coaching, you might not have an influence over the programming. If you own the spot, I would say 80% of boxes, maybe higher, are outsourcing their programming this day and age.
I literally have no idea, nor do you. So, but I like your use of percentages.
80%.
Yep.
I think it's fairly accurate. And then, so you'd have to really, move some things around.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think the aerobic capacity portion, I hate to do this after class because A, not every space allows that. B, we know the likelihood of it happening outside of class decreases substantially. But yeah, I'd say if you can incorporate 2 to 3 of those a week, that's a pretty big deal, pretty big win.
Yeah, I think there's some obvious ones. Again, do it where you can. That's always do your best. Heavy days probably not necessary. So then pick a couple of the metcons that might be on the shorter end and look at your lesson plan there and see if you can squeeze it in. And then it becomes this question of maybe it's not 5, maybe it's 3. It's just something's better than nothing in some of those scenarios. But the whole idea is just trying to be aware of it and trying to loop it in as you go, to be more intentional about your lesson plan and not ignoring something that has tremendous value, which is the cool down to help them build muscular stamina past that 60 minutes in the class, which is the whole point. Whether it's pressing, squatting, pulling, running, rowing, skiing, it doesn't matter. You could utilize a lot of these drills and utilize these concepts for virtually anything, which is the beauty. I mean, we did it in a whole bunch of different stuff that you guys can watch on the YouTube channel, but a lot of people don't even get a cool down in. And then when they do get a cool down in, it's pretty, blah, milk toast, if you will, where it's just kind of half-ass stretching or something like that.
Milk toast, Katie. Milk toast. Yeah. I think it's really, again, you think about a 60-minute class, most people, that's their time designated for activity on a daily basis, right? So
right.
Big picture is talk less, move more, give them actionable things, give them, something that they're going to take away. If you add what we learned about with Hinshaw, you're providing such a bigger value for your members than you were, before that. So watch that episode coming out. It's probably going to be a couple weeks, but it'll be a great episode. Now, let's talk a little bit about the workout. Something that you and I have spoken about with our Affiliate U clients, the second semester of Affiliate U, 6 months devoted to coaches development. That's for the box owner, your entire coaching staff. If you have your level 3 or any of your coaches have your level 3, you can earn 25 to 50 credits, depending on how much time you spend with us. But one of the lessons we give in there is talking about knowing when you must start the workout by, something you and I refer to as the drop dead start time. So let's talk a little bit about that. And then I also think something we can touch briefly upon, Fern, is we experienced this with Colton at Engage, is when you decide to make a standard workout, a partner workout or a team workout, because maybe class was busier than anticipated. So let's start off with, tell me how you figure out the drop dead start time.
Well, the simple math is however much time I want for my cool down plus the workout time. So let's just say the easy formula for this is if it's I've got my standard cool down, let's call it 10 minutes. And then if I have a time priority workout, that's an easy no brainer. Where this will tend to run amok is if it is a task priority workout and a very common mistake is they will use the left end of the time frame versus the right end of the time frame. What I mean by that, meaning let's just say the workout was intended to be 12 to 16 minutes, and they'll say they will have only allotted 14 for the actual workout when they should have allotted all 16. If you had 12 to 16, or that I need to account for 16 of that, assuming that somebody is going to go to the far right end of that time frame. And if they don't, guess what? You get that time back and you can utilize it on the cool down, but you have to account for it. But you have to account for it.
If people are all completed on time, that could be your opportunity to say, hey, we are going to incorporate this, piece that I want. You could have that, if people end early, I will incorporate this aerobic capacity piece or the cool down. But yeah, so let's break it down. Obviously, time priority workouts are simple. You're running Cindy. I know I want 7 minutes at the end. I need to start this by 33 into class to be done at 53 because it's 20 minutes hard end. And now we have 7 minutes left. Where there's a challenges task priority workout, you take Fran, then you say, okay, we want everybody done in under 7. Maybe we leave a little 10-minute buffer in there. So I want to, start this by 40 into class. going back to the previous episode, that means you've done a good job explaining the exact stimulus you want during the whiteboard brief. B, you could do the best job explaining the stimulus. You will always have one or two people that either under or overscale, right? It works both ways. If you miss this, if you
Not
do
always.
Fran, no, but it does work both ways. Fran's a tough one because it's like, can you go too fast in Fran? Probably not, right? But there are workouts where.
So in an instance where I would say you could go too fast is if you are scaling like in some capacity and you come in too fast, then yes, then that is too fast in Fran. I would only say you're going too fast if you are scaling. That's the only way I would, which is fine. Like it's not a bad thing, right? You have to find out. So I'm definitely not poo-pooing that. But if somebody was like, how would you do that? It would be in the instance where they're scaling empty barbell and they go a minute 50. And it's like, you have no need to do empty barbell if you're doing a minute 50.
Yeah. So in other words, you have to do a good job explaining the stimulus, but you also then have to follow that up during the, WOD buildup or where during the specific warm up where you look at people and you realize, hey, that dude's got 75 pounds on the bar. He might finish Fran too quickly. Because while that doesn't necessarily mess up your timeline, right? Because he's done early, it still is the missed stimulus there.
So the other thing to think about this. So I ran what was it a week ago, a week and some change. Right before we went to Nashville, I did a level 2 here at CrossFit Rife, and I did the day 1 and the day 2 workout. And I did a 15-minute EMOM, but it was every 5 minutes we would run around. Okay. So, and I put in the notes, I said, if I need to buy back time because something's going, I'm going to pull it from the end of the workout. At which point you might be thinking, well, how can you do that? It's 15 minutes every 5 minutes on the minute. But if you have an EMOM or something of that nature, in a 5-minute window, I should have rest. I'm not going to use the total 5 minutes. So the workout shouldn't actually be 15 minutes. It should be 13 minutes. And I had accounted for that. I did need to steal it back. And I finished, and I ended still had 10 minutes on the back end to do the cool down. So this is when you're getting really into the nitty gritty of your lesson plan and just knowing, okay, once we get to the workout, is this actually 12 to 15 minutes? Is this actually 16 minutes? If it's an EMOM and it's like a single lift, well, you can steal that last 60 seconds back if you need it. They're going to hit one lift and then they're done. Well, I'm going to steal that minute back and put it back onto the lesson plan. And you just know. And kind of going back to what we were talking about before is simply knowing that where I can, compress or expand time based on what I need, based on what's happened. You can only know that and do that if you laid it out on your lesson plan. So knowing that I had 2 minutes, I was running a little bit like, I actually don't even know if I was running, but I think it was actually right on time. I thought I was off because I was looking at the time of day versus the running clock that I had. But anyway, I knew I had 2 minutes on there and I was able to finagle it where I was like, I still finished at the workout and I was like, oh, we're right at 50. This is exactly where I wanted to be versus being 2 minutes behind. Just another example of knowing like the nuances of workouts and how they're designed and like, oh, that's not actually 15 minutes. So that now you're going to account for 15 minutes in the event that somebody would utilize all that time in an EMOM or something like that. So always account to the far right of the workout, not to the left, because that'll never work out for you.
Right. And that was like the workout we did at On the End CrossFit, right? It was every 2 minutes for that complex.
Oh yeah. 12 minutes. Yeah. So it was just a clean and a jerk.
I think it was like 2 cleans and a jerk. I want to say.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Anyway, and yes. Then, right. So if you would have just said, well, it's 6 rounds every 2 minutes, technically we'll be done at 10:30, right. But that minute and a half is important if somebody's falling behind or if they did want to wait, etc. So obviously knowing exactly when you need to start the class by, or the workout, I should say, by, to make sure that there's room at the end for the cool down. And that's, if you're going to show up to class with anything, if you're like, I'm not going to do any work, I want to show up with just the one thing I need, it should be your ability to look at the clock and know, hey, by this time, I need to start the workout.
Yeah, I have to say go at this time.
Nothing is worse as a member of an affiliate that takes classes than watching that minute hand on the clock go by, knowing we're now going to not finish on time And every additional class after this has to deal with the consequences.
It'll happen occasionally where I'll be here in the box. And so like one of the signals that I have in my brain is just like when the music kicks up. So
yeah,
like,
that's it. Yeah. It's like
there's nothing going on, music kicks up. And so occasionally like the music will kick up and I'll just check my watch and I'll look at the time and I'll be like, they're gonna be late.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have to know what's going on in there. I know the workout. I know what time to kick the music on, and I'm like, I'll just walk out there and I'll just kind of like throw my hands up, and then they'll be like, I know, and I'm like, be on time. Like, what are you doing? I don't even have to be in the room to know that you're late at this point.
So let's talk now a little bit about creating a partner workout. So okay. you have your class planned, and either too many people show up, like, and of course we live and die by the standard is the standard. But if some, extra people show up or you just weren't accounting for it, et cetera, you didn't think ahead. Sometimes there's too many people, there's not enough equipment, whatever that looks like. So we showed up at CrossFit Engage and Colton did a really nice job of turning what was just a standard workout into a team workout. What are some of the things that you look to do when you realize, okay, we're going to throw in a little bit of an audible here?
I think the big one is you should have put some forethought into this. I think there will be a time when you could do it a little bit more quickly where like on the fly, you could walk in and be like, hey, this is an issue. Like I've done that for some of our Saturday classes when the coach was trying to resolve that issue and run a class of 25 to 30 people, at which point I'll just relieve him of the class and then just rewrite the workout really quickly. But I think you have to realize, how can I change this while keeping the time domain roughly the same? Because your time domain is fixed at that point. So I can't take I don't know, let's just make up a workout. Let's just say it's 100, 100, 100, 100 or something. Just make up the movements. Doesn't even matter.
Well, Angie's a good one, right? 100
sure.
pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, squats.
Well, if it's a partner workout, I can't just make it 200.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's gonna double your time. Right. So yeah, you have to figure out like there's a rough equation there that I've kind of like it's roughly an additional 30 to 40% of work. Now this does depend on what the movements are, but on average about 20 to 30% increase on the total volume will keep you inside of the same time domain. The reason for that is because if you design it rightly, there will be moving faster because there will be little to no break in the work that's being done if it's designed correctly. So if you're looking for like, well, how do I increase this? About 30 to 40%. The other thing to look at is try to make, let's just say you have, this happened recently. I forget what it was. Try to keep the rep schemes clean. So if that 30 to 40% makes wonky numbers, then just adjust the numbers. So let's just say that you were to do, let's say 18, 16, Katie can do some math here. Let's just say like 16, 12, 8, right? Let's just say what's 30% increase on each of those? 16, 30%, 1/3. So 7, right? Ish. No, that's almost 50%. Maybe like 3.5.
Yeah, like 5.
Yeah, 5.5.
Like 30%.
Terrible at math. Right. So that makes 21. And then 12 would be 30% would be 4. So now you're at 16. So you 21, 16, and then 8 is what?
Almost 3, like 2.5.
Yeah. So now you have 21, 16, 11. If you were to go by that math. Right. So that sounds really, really wonky. Right. So just adjust those to make a clean movement. So you would go probably 24, 18, 12, something along those lines, because remember, people do have to remember the workout. So try to make your rep schemes clean if you can. It's not a perfect science, but if you do this enough times, you'll start to figure it out. Like, what can I do to make this clean? And then there's other things you can do to either speed people up or slow them down, adjust the weights, things of that nature. So that's the first thing is how do I adjust this within not drastically changing the time domain on that? That's the first one.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones.
It's probably the biggest one. It's if you just get that right, everything else will be fine. Then the other thing I think that is worth looking at is I'm a big fan of structuring how the partner works. So how do they proceed through the workout? And I'm a huge fan of limiting the number of reps that a given partner can do in order to keep the intensity high. So Colton he gave us these rep schemes, which is probably how we would have broken it anyway, I think, when we did ours.
Yeah,
but it was like
sure.
We did the double unders together, and then it was wall balls, and then
wall balls, and then
toes to bar. I thought there was something else. Anyway, but the wall balls we did 15s, and the toes to bar we did 10s. And that was how he had said to break it up. You can't do any more than 10. Even if I was able to do more than 10, that was the restriction. In order to kind of share the workload and keep people moving, I'm a big fan of restricting the amount of volume that somebody could do in order to move them faster. Now, that does have some hidden pitfalls if they're using different weights and somebody's just getting crushed. That could be a little bit problematic, but there's solutions for that too. So those are the two big things. I think making the adjustments of the time domain falls in there, and then figuring out like how this is actually going to work. Like, what is the format of the workout, and how are they going to proceed through all of the work? I think those two, if you get those nailed in, those two dialed in right, then you can make a really fun, team workout that's still a great test of fitness.
Well, and I think one of the cool things that he did while doing that was, like you're suggesting, he picked a rep scheme that you had to split, but it also challenged you to maintain. So, knowing most of the time you do a partner workout, there might be less volume individually. It's great that you can force them to ratchet up the intensity.
Yeah, and less volume isn't really that big of a deal, honestly. Like if it results in a higher power output and higher intensity for that workout that you would have otherwise not done, then I would argue then it's a better option. Yeah.
So a lot to think about when lesson planning. I want to end this by telling a little story about CrossFit Engage, specifically when you and I worked out together.
Well, I don't know what other story you would tell about CrossFit Engage.
Well, there's a lot. We had great barbecue.
We did have a great barbecue.
We had great barbecue. We had a great interview with Colton. He told us all about, his journey to become an owner at the box. And then, of course,
his mom said just how much more she liked me than you.
I don't recall any of that. However, one thing I do recall is we're in the middle of this. First of all, let's be clear. Fern had a couple of surgeries recently, and then also hurt his back a little bit before we traveled.
Yeah, like a week before I slipped a disc.
So, you were keeping it relatively moderate on the lifting. Then the workout was 13-minute AMRAP, 40 doubles each. We each had to do 40 doubles. Then it was 60 wall ball, 40 toes to bar. And like we said, you had to break up the wall balls at 15 and you break up the toes to bar at 10. So
I feel like there was something else in there, but maybe not.
That was it. So I'm not great not that I'm not great. Double unders jack up my heart rate, and wall balls are obviously unfair because I'm short stature.
Weak, because you're weak. Yeah.
So anyway, first round, we hit the 40 double unders. I pick up the wall ball. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do my 15. As I'm on around rep 8, 9 or so, I hear from Fern, what number are you on? And I was like, oh no. As soon as he said that, I knew what he was implying, which was on your 15th wall ball, slide over and let me just catch it and go into the next, which immediately made me know that I had to do the same for him. So Fern switched into high gear immediately as we started this workout. And that was it. And then, did we beat you on that workout, Katie?
No, I beat you guys on that one.
Yeah,
but you crushed suspect. On the Mayhem. You guys crushed
Mayhem as well as Hendersonville.
Yeah. Yep.
You crushed it. All right. Anyway, it was interesting. Fern turned it on. He couldn't not be competitive. Let's go with one more level 3 question to wrap this thing up.
Okay.
All right. So, Katie.
For me or for Katie?
Katie, let's say this about Katie. You are open to being under pressure, right? We did not give Katie these questions. Very easy to turtle up, to shell up, right? You're doing a good job.
Sauce.
Unless it's hot sauce. Yeah.
Hot sauce.
Well, I mean, I put it out there. I want to pass my level 3. So I don't, you can ask me questions.
Let's go with this. Let's give you an easy one. An easy one, Fern. You down?
Layup.
All right. Layup. CrossFit's definition of fitness.
Fitness.
Oh my God. I was like, oh, she's going to rattle this one off.
CrossFit. Okay.
Okay. The thing about ethics. Okay. CrossFit's definition of fitness.
What is fitness?
What is fitness?
I know.
Oh, you want to
Hands up, Katie. Hands up,
the
Katie.
question again? Is there too much pressure? Are we putting pressure on you?
Well, I'm nervous. Yeah.
Are you sweating?
I think it's because this is live. I think it's because
live.
this is live.
It's live right now.
Katie's freaking out about this.
Fitness is.
Yep, that's how you start. Fitness is.
Yeah, it does stress me out, but
You're sweating. You're dripping.
I know.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, you cannot see how uncomfortable
cannot see Katie.
The uncomfortable, but I'm not Googling.
Hands up. Okay, come on.
I know the answer, but I literally cannot.
Technically, you don't know the answer. If I'm being honest. What are you gonna say, Fern? You're gonna give her some help. You're gonna be a lifeline.
You want a hint, Katie?
I guess so.
Iwakadaba.
What? I'm gonna back my way into this one. Okay. So force times distance equals
increase.
What?
Did you just did it's increased work capacity across broad time and modal domains.
I gave it away with the Iwakadaba.
Yeah. I knew. Yeah. That's. Okay, I didn't know it though. I didn't know it though.
Well, actually, let's be very specific when we talk about the definition. It doesn't actually include increase.
It's
right?
just
so it's just work. It's just work capacity across broad time and modal domains. The goal with our fitness is to increase. Work capacity.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw one more question. You got the hard part. You've already gotten through the hard part.
I didn't even get it, but okay.
Katie,
with some help, you got it.
I will be accepting all of your HR complaints today.
What is the definition of health?
This is kind of a layup.
Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it quiet, Fern. Let's just be quiet.
Oh, health.
Okay.
I
will lead you into this.
Okay.
Same definition.
Same thing.
Plus a little extra.
Yeah. That was unhelpful.
So it's work capacity across broad time and modal domains across the years of your life. Throughout the years of your life, yeah.
There you go. All right. See,
now
just a little prompting.
Guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully you knew the answer as well if you're listening. And we got our work cut out for you, Katie, but we're gonna get you there. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do this. You're gonna pass that L3.
Thanks, guys.
So all that being said, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Katie's gonna drop some things for you to tag us. We want to see your lesson plans. We do want to hear your wrong answers about the worst thing Katie did.
Yeah, wrong answers only. If you put a right answer in there, or there's something that's very Katie-esque, you are immediately out of the running.
Yes, it's got to be terrible. Yeah. And best answer is going to win the shirt Fern's wearing right now. Do the work. We've got a whole new line of apparel coming out in the very near future with the OGs in the business as RX. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. And lastly, head over to our YouTube channel, smash the subscribe button, like the videos, because this next season of Dropping In is our best ever, and the content coming out around the podcasts are going to be tremendous. We are super excited. We want you to see it. Enjoy.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.